games, and we're going to start off with the Boston Bruins here. They were 4th in the Atlantic with a 51-26-5 record, 107 points, 6th in the East, and 10th in the league last season. Their head coach is now Jim Montgomery, replacing Bruce Cassidy. They lost 3 players, Antoine Blid, Curtis Lazar, Eric Haller. Then they signed Patrice Bergeron, Pavel Zacha, and David Krejci, and they had one trade where they traded Eric Haller to the New Jersey Devils in exchange for Pavel Zacha. Not many offseason moves here, but I think the ones that Boston Bruins fans and maybe the Bruins wanted, we wanted Patrice Bergeron back, and the Bruins fans got their David Krejci back. And they didn't really do much after that.
Yeah, I think the story of this season is honestly going to be when are their starters coming back from injury. We have Brad Marchand, Charlie McAvoy, and Matt Grzyk all out to start the season, and a few of those guys are actually missing a lot of time to start the season. So, I mean, that's honestly probably 3 of your starting 5 players on the ice. You know what I mean? Starting 6.
Mm-hmm.
And I think, honestly, the Krejci coming back, I don't know. We'll see what that's going to be. I think it's definitely helpful to have more depth down the middle, but after, sitting out a year, yes, he did play overseas, but it's not the same league over there.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Is he going to be missing a step? What do you think?
I don't know. I think the Bruins are going to be having a hard time here. Brad Marchand, the rat that he is, was getting stuff done. He had 32 goals last season, 48 assists, which was team best. So getting it done on both ends. So that's a rough guy, especially when you haven't made that many offseason moves. It's a hard guy to miss in the beginning of a season.
Yeah, I think, your goaltending tandem is going to be looking pretty solid on the back end with Ullmark and Sweatman. I think they got the job done last year, did pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
The Zacha and Haller trade, I think, is definitely an upgrade because you have Zacha playing on your top line winging with Bergeron. DeBrusk seems to be pretty happy on that first line, too. He's producing now. Doesn't really want out anymore. And then that second line, man, I think it's going to be sneaky good. Hall, Krejci, and Posternock. I think that's really going to be... I think that could be what makes or breaks this team, though. If that line isn't good, that spells disaster for the team.
Right. That's just like Eric Hall last season for the Boston Bruins. Just sneaky good all of a sudden.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, you're just like, where the hell did you come from?
And I hope Hampus Lindholm looks good coming off of the concussion protocol. I don't necessarily know if he was injured with it. I know he missed a couple games because of it in the playoffs last year, but I'd like to see where this guy's contract and signing takes him on this team.
Right. The Bruins wanted him. As soon as we got him, that was like the 8-year contract or something big that he got. And so we still haven't seen like what Hampus Lindholm can do with the Boston Bruins organization, but I don't know. Apparently he's their guy,
I think the real reason that they wanted him wasn't because of him per se. I think it was because of how weak the defenseman market was, and he was kind of the top ticket guy, as weird as that sounds. Like, he was probably the biggest name that was available as a defenseman, and for us to land him was pretty big, I'd say.
Big. It's funny how the Bruins kind of go for these guys, like big names, but like not big in the league,
Mm-hmm.
Like you've all heard of Hampus Lindholm, great player, but Bruins target those guys like the
just outside of the star. It's like the B level celebrity, It's not like the A team,
Mm-hmm.
But I think they can get more out of those kind of players than bringing in the A guy. And I think honestly another big question mark this season will be what Jim Montgomery does with this team.
Yep.
Yeah, I think there's stirrings, and where there's smoke there's fire when it comes to the Bruce Cassidy things, but regardless, Cassidy's one of the best coaches in the league, and to move on from him, it's going to shake things up in the locker room. So let's see where it takes him.
Right. Again, Bruce Cassidy gone. Probably the reason why David Krejci came back. And for all the Bruins fans, this is probably the last season with the Patrice Bergeron and maybe even David Krejci. So they want that playoff run. They want maybe a good Stanley Cup run,
Yeah, and not to, I guess, paint one house red and one house blue. It kind of reminds me of the Pittsburgh Penguins in the sense where they're getting the gang back together and they got the old team. I heard rumors of Lucic. We still haven't seen anything develop on that, but that could just be people trying to will something into fruition.
The back to 2011 Bruins.
But yeah, maybe the Bruins do look a little older than they should, and maybe that's a bad thing. But if you want to get to it, I have them slotted in as the 4 seed in their division.
Oh, 4th seed?
4th seed.
I bumped them up a little. 3rd seed.
3rd seed? Okay. Yep. And that's compared to last season where they finished 4th behind Florida, Toronto, Tampa, and then the Bruins. So.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So I had something on the Patrice Bergeron here because I think this is going to be his last season. If he does another season, I'd be shocked. But fun fact, last season, this guy, it goes to show you how incredible Patrice Bergeron is. Just a talented player overall.
Can I jump in? You really think that he's not going to come back?
I think the fact that he got a 1 season just 1 year deal here. I think that's might be his way. I'd be like, I'm gonna feel it out one more season and.
I think that's the team's way of saying, like, we're going to give you one more year and then we'll evaluate at the end of the year. I think it's the mutual ground where he could have wanted 2 and the team's like, hell no, like, we're not going to give you 2. You're getting older. Like, he's still performing. He's still producing. He's not
still...
at the level Char is at.
Mm-hmm.
He's, in the running for the Selke Award every year. So
right.
I don't see him going out if he's still performing at the same level he is.
Right. And that's kind of going back to what his stats for last season. So yeah, hopefully, yeah, kind of agreeing with on that. So last season he was 25 goals and 40 assists. He's actually number 1 in NHL history in faceoff wins. He's had 1,600 total faceoffs with a 61.9% win percentage. Leon Draisaitl, ironically, is second with 1,661 faceoffs with a 53.4% win percentage. So 53.4 to 61.9. It's just insane how good this dude is on the faceoff dot.
Yeah.
And he's just, you want this guy in insane situations where you're on the power play. It's a good game. You want this point, and here he is, just like taking that face off, and you have that 60% chance of winning it.
And that's what makes me think he's head and shoulders above the next guy. You're gonna have to drag him off the ice, kicking and screaming, before he just says, "I'm gonna ride off into the sunset." That's my opinion.
Mm-hmm. Right. And you're gonna. How about David Posternock now? Is he still gonna be the guy that he is?
It really depends on how that line clicks, because now it's shaken up a little bit. Like, I think part of the rumblings with Cassidy had to do with Pasternock, but if this is the line that he wanted the whole time, he wanted to play on Krejci's line, which is the rumor.
Right.
And now if it doesn't really work, it's kind of like, well, what do you know, really? You know what I mean? Like, why are you complaining?
Right. And Pasternock wasn't happy a few weeks ago. Didn't he put out something about it? Be like, hey, listen, I've been doing this for years and I'm not winning anything. What am I doing?
Yeah. And I think that's just like frustration with how close they've come and how close they are. They're always, in the running. They could be that team, and there's just something that keeps them from getting over that hump.
Right. They're missing a few pieces there.
I don't like. It's almost not even that though. Like Game 7 Stanley Cup Finals, you get there and you can't say that like a few pieces is what's going to win you one game. Like, they have the pieces. I think they've been there. They can get there. It just doesn't happen all the time. I don't know what it is, but I don't know.
All right. And to top this all off, goalie situation. Tuukka Rask came back, retired. So now it's full blown. We're gonna have a full season. Jeremy Sweatman, Linus Ullmark. How are you feeling about these two?
I also think that the Rask situation may have screwed the team in their prospect that was Dan Vladar. If they knew that Rask was coming back just to retire, they wouldn't have traded Vladar away. I don't think They may have gone into next season with the Vladar Swayman combo, but they said, hey, let's sell high on this guy. We have Rask coming back this season. He's going to be hopefully normal. And then you have Swayman as a backup, and then Ullmark Ullmark as a backup, and Swayman to plug the holes until Rask is back.
Ullmark surprising me right now. I looked up his stats, and I think it was as good as I thought it was. 2.45 GAA, 7th best in the league, and also 7th best in the league with a .917 save percentage. And then to move on to Jeremy Swayman here, he was 4th best in the league with a 2.41 GAA. So they're both getting it done. They just got to hug it out at the end of every game.
Yeah, I guess so. I guess that's the glue that keeps your friends together, right?
Right, that's it. Maybe we should hug it out at the end of the episode.
No, that's okay.
Okay, we'll just keep doing nips.
Yeah.
Yep.
That sounds good to me.